You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. If you are into anime, nerd culture, or most importantly, video games, and guess what? You come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 334. Let's talk about some things, baby. I got some things I want to talk about. Not going to be a very long show, but we're going to get into some stuff. Went to go see the Saw movie today. Want to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to spoil anything. It was bittersweet. I'll say that, and I can't spoil anything. So how much am I really going to be able to discuss with you guys? I don't know. But we also have some Assassin's Creed Mirage to talk a little bit about. Lords of the Fallen to talk about. There's some things here. Spider-Man 2. We have some Last of Us news, which is going to be crazy. Also, my Anime Watchlist. I have had a chance to watch some anime, which is cool as well. And then some Red Dead Redemption information as well. Something that they kind of did. They went under the radar and got some shit done. I'm going to talk about that. And Sony adds something to their premium service. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, before I begin with the show and get started, guys, I just want to let everybody know I'm in my car recording this time. Again, you never know where I'm going to be recording it from day to day. It's just simply where I am right now. I'm not in my own place. So I have to kind of find my own area, kind of carve my own spot out for these shows, guys, for the next year or so, when we decide to finally move and get our own spot again. And that's just the way it is. So it kind of sucks, but I'm in my car now. You may hear some dogs barking outside vaguely. I got the windows rolled up. It's actually starting to cool down out here in Texas now, so that's cool. It's about 65 degrees, so I don't have to leave the car on. But yeah, I'm just giving you guys some insight on what it's like to be a podcaster, what it's like to actually record some of this shit, and some of the things and trials and tribulations that you have to go through. And every now and then you might hear a beep, and that's my car because I have my key inside the car. And I need some light so that I can read off of my notes vaguely and kind of do some things. So that's what we have right now, guys. And just bear with me for this episode. And hopefully next episode I'll be able to record inside again where everybody's asleep. That's the other thing. I have to wait for people to go to sleep. And it's one of those nights where my kid, he's off for the next 2 days. So he's off Monday and Tuesday for holidays or whatever. And he's up and he's going to be doing his thing. And then everybody's awake in the house, so I don't want everybody walking around while I'm trying to record. And right now, the car is my only slice of heaven, my only quiet place where I can actually record right now. So that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I cannot wait to get the man cave back, guys. I had a man cave. I miss it so much. I took it for granted before we came out here and moved out here. Oh, I miss it so much because that was my area. That was where I could go, have a seat, do my recording, no worries, no problems. And now I don't have that. So it's going to be a while before I get that again, but it is what it is. So I'm not going to stop doing shows. I'm not going to stop recording podcasts. You feel me? I've been doing it for years. And why the fuck would I stop now? I love you guys too much for that. And I love video games too much for that. So let's get on with the show. And I want to talk about Saw 10. Saw the movie, me and my son, we went out and saw it. Funny story. We actually went out yesterday and bought 2 tickets to go see the Exorcist movie, right? And my dumbass, we got out to the movie theater. We walked into the theater. I had the tickets purchased on my phone. So I go to scan the barcode and the guy says, "Oh, you're at the wrong theater. You're supposed to be at this theater." And I'm like, what the fuck? So I bought tickets to the wrong theater. We weren't going to make it to the other theater in time. And we basically lost out on that movie. Couldn't see the movie, lost out on that money, all of that. So, only cool thing about it was he wanted to play with his friends, kind of. They were coming, asking him, hey, come kick it, come play. And he was like, well, that's fine. I was going to go play with my friends anyway. So Plus, he was falling asleep on the way to the movie. So we said, okay, let's make plans for tomorrow to watch it. And then he said, wait a minute, I saw 10. That's out too. So I was like, okay, which one you want to go see? And he said Saw 10. So we went and saw Saw 10. We saw that today. So that's why we ended up watching that. And I have to say, it was a pretty good movie overall. Definitely. There's some things I'm not going to spoil. I'll just say wait to the end of the movie. And if you plan on watching it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That kind of pissed me off, but that's all I'm going to say. I can't say too much more without spoiling anything, guys, so I'm not going to do it. I don't even want to take a chance in trying to spoil that movie, but it's definitely a good movie. If you're into the Saw franchise and you're a Saw fan, you should definitely go see it. And most people, a lot of us have seen at least one or two Saw movies, and this is no different, but it's got definitely some interesting moments in here. But yeah, definitely I recommend going and check it out if you're into like the Saw movies for sure. But yeah, please forgive the dogs. You may hear them in the background, guys. Like I said, I'm in my car, windows rolled up and everything, but I have these dickhead neighbors, okay, who keep their dogs in the backyard. Like I said, I mentioned this maybe a week or two before about these neighbors and why they keep their dogs in the backyard, which most people now, if they have dogs, they keep them in the house. They're domesticated and all of that, but they choose to have theirs outside running around, and that's what it is. So they just randomly just start barking for no fucking reason. In the middle of the night, they've done it. I've been lucky most of the time, but right now I'm hearing them. So I'll try to edit it best I can. And it's just the trials and tribulations of doing podcasts. That's just kind of like what it is out here. You gotta kind of go with the flow, man. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in my car. I got random beeps in here because my car is warning me about some shit, and I don't want my light to go out. I got these neighbors that have dogs that are outside that are barking at any time randomly. Okay, there's another beep right there. And for me to be even in my car to try to record this, just to get some quiet time and space, because there's people up, and I don't feel like waiting till 2 or 3 in the morning tonight for everyone to go to sleep before I come out and I'm groggy and I'm tired as hell and to do the podcast, right? So that's just what it is. Here I am, and here we go. Next on the list, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now the game comes out, I think it's already out. Yeah, it came out Friday. I want to say it came out Friday. Yeah. Now I saw some gameplay on it personally, guys, and I like what I saw. I liked it more than I thought I would, and this is going back to the original Assassin's Creed formula. If you guys remember, like Assassin's Creed was really a stealth game. It was a true stealth game when it first came out, and then it kind of, transformed into this super open world RPG kind of thing with different backdrops, and with everybody had hit points and all these type of things. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that's my flavor more so of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I like those games, the Odysseys and the Valhallas and the Origins and all that. I love those games more, but I do appreciate the original OG assassination type thing where you're not really meant to fight. You're really supposed to do everything in silence if you can. The main objective of the game is to go in there and not be seen and to get out of there without having to fight. And if you do fight, it's not in your favor, okay? You're going to be overwhelmed. They're going to throw a lot of these enemies at you, and it's designed to have you struggle with that aspect of the game because they don't want you to play it that way. They kind of want you to do it quietly, get in there and get out, if possible. Now you do have tools and you have things you can use at your disposal if you get caught in a corner and if you need to escape and all of that. And that's what's cool as well about this game. So like I said, what I saw from the game, I actually was pretty intrigued by it. I definitely want to play it or try it out. It's not a day one for me, of course, but it is something to add to the library because I have a lot of Assassin's Creed games in the library, and this is definitely one I would consider adding to the list. And some of these other games that I got, Assassin's Creed wise, I didn't buy them day one. I think Odyssey I bought day one, but other than that, I think I bought the rest of them. I waited for sales and stuff like that. And usually they're always Black Friday type sales. You get them for $15-$20. And I'm leaning towards, physical, but it's kind of funny when I talk about physical games in digital games now, because now I'm starting to reach a point in my gaming life where that stuff, man, is making me feel like digital is the way to go again. And I only say that because it doesn't make sense anymore to have physical. I mean, if you have physical now, it's really just to kind of show off a collection, so to speak. In other words, hey, I have all these games, but here the disc cases are for them. And if I want to play this, I still need to download 60, 70 gigs of the actual game to actually play this anyway. It's a placeholder. That's all it is. When we're talking about like PS4 and PS5 and stuff. Now, Nintendo is the only one still holding out. The only one that if you really want to collect physical games now, you'd have a really good time doing it, because most of their games fit on the cartridge. They may have baby updates here and there, but a lot of their games that come out, they actually are everything you need on that disc, right? Or on that cartridge. That's all you need. And there's even companies who make some of your favorite games that are digital only, and they say, well, we're going to do a small line or a small run of this said game, and you can come here and pay for it and get it like that. So they do cool things like that. I'm talking about Nintendo, but it's getting to the point where, man, is it even worth doing that stuff now, guys? Even games I really anticipate and I really, really want to play, and I, look forward to playing, I don't know, man. Buying physical for those just doesn't make sense anymore to me. I don't know what else to say. That's how I feel about it. And I'm sticking to my story, man. So I'm like Spider-Man, I pre-ordered that. So I don't know. I'm thinking like, okay, when Spider-Man comes out, I may not even want it physical anymore, because now I can play it the night before at midnight. And on top of that, what good is it going to do with me buying physical? All it's going to do is when I want to play it, hey, yeah, let's play Spider-Man. Well, take whatever disc you have in there now out, slide that disc in, download the game, okay, which is a 50, 60 gigs, download that, then you can play it, as opposed to just, okay, pull it up on the hard drive and just select it and play it. The convenience of it all and all of that. And if it's not a game I absolutely just have to play like that, then there you have it. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking that pre-order that I have, going up there to GameStop tomorrow or something like that, and then telling them, yo, let me put that $5 on Mario RPG instead of this Spider-Man, and do it like that, and that's probably where I'm headed, man. I'm serious. I've been really thinking about this stuff, man. And unless it's something I really just have to have, or I find a really good deal physical on it, then that's what I'll end up doing. Now you can go to eBay, which is one of my favorite places to shop, to buy, secondhand games, and because you get them for hella great prices. You can get them for $10 sometimes, and it's cool because digital, if you try to go get a lot of this digital stuff, they have a lot of dope sales on the digital front as well. But if it's not on sale on the digital front, then they're going to pull your pants down. They're going to pull out a tub of nicely warmed up butter, and they're going to use it on you. Okay, no hesitation. You're going to have a hickey on the back of your neck, guaranteed. You're going to smell, the whole room's going to smell like sake and endo smoke. And that's just what it is. So it's kind of bittersweet. You just have to catch a certain game at a certain time. You know what I mean? And Black Friday at GameStop is also a fun time for me. I go in there, I get the game, and I find a game. Hey, buy 2 games, get another one for free. And these are physical. So, okay, cool. All these PS4 games, cool. Let's go in there and find some gems. Let's grab them and do them. So I'm not saying I'll never buy physical games again or ever, anything like that. There'll be deals and things of that nature where I would definitely like to pick them up and stuff like that. But, I'm leaning in the direction, especially on the PS5 side of things, is to just, download the games. Just do it all from the house, man. I mean, because that's what you have anyway. You know what I mean? That's what you have anyway. Less cluster as well. So there's a lot of things, but as somebody who like retro gaming, I still do the retro gaming thing. And that's something I don't think I'll ever, shy away from. And I'll forever always try to keep my hand in that pot, so to speak, because I still love my retro games and all that, and I'm not getting rid of that stuff. So if I do start to buy physical down the line, it'll probably just be more so with the retro stuff. That's all I'm saying. Even in Nintendo right now, because the Nintendo Switch 2, they're claiming that they're going to be doing, cartridge for the next one. So I'd say the next well, the next maybe 10 years, we can probably depend on at least physical stuff from Nintendo. And I think that's going to be our last console, guys. I mean, we're headed for the digital age, so I just guess we have to get accustomed to it, get used to it, whatever. And that's what it is. So that's where I'm at there. I don't know how I got into this conversation, but we got here. I was talking about Spider-Man. Well, no, I was talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage, and then we got in there. So that's where we're at on that. Definitely will be picking up that at a later date, though. Looks pretty good, but there's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about it. I've heard of some negative reviews on it as well. So, I mean, gaming, it's just like, now you just have to play it for yourself. You look at some reviews to kind of get an idea where you can kind of eyeball it. But if your mind is made up on a certain game, for the most part, most of us are going to go ahead and try it out. And that's just what it is. You know, we want to hear the good and the bad. And after that, after you heard the good and the bad, if your body's still telling you, hey, I still want to play it, you're going to go get it and you want to play it. You know, if you've seen enough, it is what it is. One man's trash is definitely another man's treasure. And that goes for games as well, man. There's plenty of games out here that you wouldn't catch me on any day with no time or nothing to do trying to play certain games, you know, and then a friend of mine or somebody else would just look at it and say, yo, I'd play the fuck out of that, and vice versa. So that's just what it is. Let's talk about Lords of the Fallen, though, because that's a game that a lot of people seem to be enjoying. It's not a perfect game. From everything I've gathered from listening to multiple people playing the game and experiencing this stuff, they all say pretty much the same thing. Like, it's a really good game. It's an 8-ish, 8.5 out of 10. And that's really solid. That's really good. And they're saying that, you know, it's got a couple of things that it could, with the combat, or I guess the movement, so to speak. I'm hearing a lot of stuff talking about how loose the controls are when it comes to like rolling and dodging and stuff like that. How, you know, a lot of people have gotten themselves killed because it's a little clunky. It's a little loose. And other than that, as far as the beautiful landscapes and Unreal 5 engine, all that stuff is breathtaking, okay? Because this is one of the games that is definitely showcasing that engine and giving the people a chance to like look into it, and it looks good, you know what I mean? So I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about it, man. It comes out right around the corner. It comes out on the the 13th, I want to say, right around the fucking corner. So next week's podcast, yo, it'll be, I think it'll be out. Yeah. It'll be out, man. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to be playing it right now anytime soon. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But that game is on my radar at some point, okay? Because you have multiplayer, and I would definitely love to play with some friends and play that, kind of like we did with the, you know, some of the other Souls-like games. You know what I mean? Like just getting with somebody and going out and playing and stuff. I did it with Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I've done it with a lot of these games. Elden Ring, we've done it with. I think I've also done it with Bloodborne. Yeah, we beat Bloodborne and the DLC with friends. Like, great memories, great times, and those dark games. So definitely looking forward to playing this game, though, eventually at some point. It's just, all of these games are coming out and there's just not enough money to go around, guys. It's just not. And then let's not even talk about the backlog. Like, it's crazy. The backlog, my backlog personally, is crazy. I'm sure we all have some backlog out there, you know. If you have any streaming services from any of these game companies, if you have, you know, PlayStation Plus, or if you have Game Pass, you have a backlog. There's something there that you want to play, or that you're meaning to play, and you just haven't had the time, or you have to get to it when you get to it. So there's no excuse of games to play. And sometimes we get caught up in what's coming out now, and we don't focus on what we have, and we get carried away with that. You know, we're not playing it because we need to be playing it because everybody else is playing it, if that makes sense. And we gotta get out of that. You know, a lot of us are kind of in that. I've been guilty of doing that myself at times, where I could just say, look, man, I just want to play a good game. And there's dozens of them out here. I can speak alone on the Game Pass, and the same thing goes for PlayStation Plus. And there's a lot of shit out here, you know. And I'll get to PlayStation as well. They got something going on that they just announced, really. So I think it's cool if you're definitely wanting to play if you want to get the highest tier package that Sony has to offer. It's definitely a decent perk that they've added. But as far as, you know, Lords of the Fallen, I'm very hyped for this game, and I will eventually play it. Okay. Next on the list, though, let's hit up this Spider-Man 2. The Spider-Man 2 is coming out in a couple weeks, not even 2 weeks, a little less than that. And that's the one that a lot of people are looking forward to. There's been a lot of talk out here in these video game streets, in particular, about the playtime. How long is this game? And you might be surprised that some people are saying 15 hours. Now, don't jump the gun on that. I automatically knew when I heard that there were some caveats to that. And there usually are when you're talking about reviewers and how they review these games. People who review games, these YouTubers who do this stuff, who get the games early and review them and put them out, 75% of these YouTubers, guys, are blowing through the games. Okay. Some of them aren't even finishing the entire games. A lot of these guys aren't doing that. Okay. So they're going to tell you what a rough estimate of how long it took them to finish the game. Now, there's people saying, and not a lot, but there's a couple people saying, hey, you can beat the game in 15 hours. Now, that's if you run straight through everything. Well, I should reverse that. That's if you run through the game without doing anything else. No side content, no fucking side quests, none of this stuff. If you go straight story, you can probably get it done in 15, 16 hours. Okay. Now, if you're somebody like me who have played Spider-Man games before and who will continue to play games like this, you got this open world game. And if you played Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game, you know that it was a pretty beefy game in size, right? And that game was maybe a 30-hour game. Okay. 35-hour game, somewhere around there. This game is almost double that size, and they're going to be adding more side quests and things of that nature in the game. So you're easily looking at a 30-hour game. I know me personally, they always do this. Every time a reviewer says, hey, I beat this game in 20 hours, and then I end up playing the same fucking game, it takes me fucking 60 hours to beat the damn game by the way I play it, because I'm not playing it as a reviewer. I'm playing this shit as a straight gamer. That's why I could never be a reviewer. I could never be a guy who takes a game and is forced to play it as fast as I can because I have another game I need to play and I need to play that as fast as I can. That kind of just destroys the fun out of it for me, you know? Being able to explore and try different things out. Perfect example, Cyberpunk 2077. That's the game I'm currently playing right now still. This is the only game I've been touching, really. Hadn't really played anything else. And I can easily tell you that I've spent easily maybe 10, 15 hours in photo mode by itself alone. And that's just how I choose to play the game. It's in the game. You have the choice to play with that photo mode and do things in that photo mode. And I've taken so many pictures and it's dope. I'm going to make posters out of this stuff. I'm going to fuck around and mess with it and make maybe some t-shirts, you know, with some of these pictures. And it's just fun to do. Right. So, you know, that's what I like to do. Now, Jeffrey or Tony might say, you know what, fuck photo mode. I'll never touch photo mode and I'll play this my way and I'll do this or do that or don't do that. And that's fine. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not forced. I don't have pressure to get a review out before anybody else, or be one of the first guys to have their review drop on that day the embargo lifts and all this crazy stuff, man. That's just not my forte. And for me as a gamer, that would be watering down my experience for any game that I play. So when I get the Spider-Man game, that 15 hours is going to be nowhere near the time that it takes me to play this game. If it has a photo mode, which I think it does, I'm going to be playing around with all that stuff, guys. There's like 80 something suits, I think, in the game. There's a gang of different outfits in there. There's all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to be playing with all that type of stuff and just taking my time with the game. And I'd say probably if they're saying 15 hours, I'd probably say maybe for me, it'd probably be leaning on about 40 hours, you know, 35, 40 hours or something like that. So that's me. And I'm just being honest. I mean, and that's most people as well, you know, and most people also don't have time to just play certain games all day. You might be a weekend warrior. Hey, you work during the week, you get your time in on the weekend. Cool. And even then, you know, time is limited, you know, so that's just what it is. There's a lot of these guys, they that's all they have. They have all day. That's their job. They play games and they play them all day. So they have hours and time where they can just sit down and play have a 10-hour run. You know, I've done that, you know, before and actually quite often because of the way my schedule is set up, but you know, to each his own. I just want to discuss that with you guys. You may have been wondering, hey, what's going on with this? I've heard it was this long. I heard it was that long. And this is the short and long, I guess, to how long the game actually is. There's people that saying it's 15, very few. But if you're being a realist, there's other people out there saying, hey, 30 to 40 hours. So keep that in mind before you're picking this game up. And don't get scared and thinking, oh, it's too short and all this type of stuff. So just throwing that out there to you. I'm excited for the game. Can't wait. I'm playing a shit ton of Cyberpunk, and I'll be probably playing that until Spider-Man drops, and that'll probably be my next segue game. And then after that, I don't know, guys. It's I don't know what I'll play. I've got my eye on a few things. Ys 8 has been on my mind. I'm going to go back to Dragon's Dogma. I've been playing some Yakuza 0. So there's like all kinds of things, and there's still Starfield I haven't even got into yet, and there's also Lies of P. There's a lot of games, man. There's a lot of games here. So like this is all backlog shit, right? So there's no reason for me to just say I'm buying everything here and buying everything there, you know. It's not. You know, I try to buy one game a month, like out of my pocket, and that's it. Keep it at one game. So average of $75 game budget a month for me. And, you know, every month there's something to play, because there's also Alan Wake out there. So there's like, yo, what's the next game? You know, and I'm leaning at all these games. It's fucking dope. They're awesome. I'm thinking about that Super Mario Brothers RPG. I think that one's over all of them right now. And that's crazy because, hey, that doesn't have the best graphics. If you're looking at it from a technical aspect, that's the weakest system here, you know, but none of that shit matters. The IP is what matters. That's what matters in games. I'd play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, all day if you gave it to me right now. Still one of my all-time favorite games. Graphics don't matter to a certain extent. Yes, they matter per se, but games are what make the game great, not, hey, how strong is the system playing the game? You know what I mean? Because that's why Nintendo's just doing so good and always and forever will be, I think personally, because their IPs. Their IPs are just, they're hard to beat. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent right now, guys. Please forgive me, but it is what it is. Next, let's talk about The Last of Us 2. Now, this shit is crazy because they're actually confirming that they are going to be making a remastered version of this. Now, I thought it was just a fart in the wind. I thought it was just somebody telling fables when I first heard it out here in these video game streets, but apparently that is not the case. These guys are actually doing it, and how most people found out about this on Twitter, okay, through a leak via a LinkedIn profile. Okay, a guy looking for another job in the gaming division out there in the hemisphere stated what he was working on and what he has been working on in the past couple of years. And one of the things he stated was he has been working for the last 2 years on The Last of Us 1 Remaster and The Last of Us 2 Remaster. Okay, so this has been in development for at least a couple of years. Now, the question is that everybody's asking is, why would they even put this shit out? I know me as a diehard Last of Us fan, okay? Last of Us 2, in my opinion, you can call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Some people say they hate the story. I fucking loved the story. I loved that game. That is my all-time favorite game on the PS4, right above Ghost of Tsushima and God of War. That game is a masterpiece, in my opinion. That game is a masterpiece in every aspect of gaming, okay? Everything, in my opinion. Story, the graphics, technically, everything about this. Remember, it came out on the PlayStation 4. I played it on the base PlayStation 4, and it was buttery smooth. Yes, it was 30 frames, but it was a fucking buttery smooth 30 frames. And then I replayed it on when I first got my PS5, and it fucking even surpassed that. Okay? And they want to remaster this. I don't know what they've been smoking. I don't know, what kind of sake they're drinking. They're definitely rolling up some scrolls out here. And I think now Sony has officially stated that they have their own butter in your local grocery stores, at your Walmarts, at your Krogers, at all places, your Publix, wherever you sell groceries. You can go down aisle 5 or aisle 6, depending on where you're at, and you can go find Sony's butter. Okay, I think it's just called straight up Sony Entertainment butter or Sony's butter. It just depends, okay? They have it in stick form. They have it in tub form. You can get it spray in a spray bottle. I think they finally got butter on the shelves, guys. If they're going to try to sell this, the only way that I will see them taking butter off the shelves, that I could see them removing this stuff and having a recall on all their butter, is if this remaster is so good that nobody can deny this shit. And I don't know how that's going to be. I really don't. I don't know what else you can add to this game to make it better than it already is, man. The only thing we know about for concrete that we know that is in this that wasn't in the first one is the fact that the Spanish music artist, I forgot his name, but he's in the town when you first go into the game or whatever, and he's playing a tune on his guitar. And he was saying that, hey, yeah, there's gonna be an instance where you can walk up to me and you can request different songs. That's the only thing that Naughty Dog has added that we know about. And that's what's making me wonder, what is really going to be worth buying this remaster? Like, what else are you going to really truly be able to do to make this even better than it already is? Because I think there's nothing you can add to this game. I don't think there is. Are you going to add new weapons? Are you going to add new story beats? What are you necessarily adding? The only thing I see could maybe sell this is if you attach some like sort of DLC on the back. If you played The Last of Us 2, you know the ending, okay? And the ending is open-ended as fuck, right? It's left to you to draw your own conclusion on what happens next. So my thing is, how was that? What is it going to be? That's the only thing that would make me say, okay, I want this. Only time will tell. We'll see what happens with that. I for the life of me don't know what they have up their sleeve, but they got to give us something, because if they put this out the way it is, then it's going to cause a lot of shit, and not in a good way. And I don't want that for Naughty Dog, because it's one of my favorite companies. It's one of my favorite developers, man. You can never hate on the Last of Us franchise. It's one of the most awesome franchises ever. And I'm not just talking about games. Even their fucking HBO show was fucking fire. So I'm just saying, I'm praying for these guys that they actually give us something of some substance. I bought the collector's edition of The Last of Us 2, guys. So you know I'm a super fan. Okay. I wasn't playing when I said I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I support these guys, and I love their games. So we'll see, man. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to talk about my anime watch list real quick. And I've watched a couple. Well, I've watched one and I'm watching another now. And the one that I finished up watching was Castlevania from Netflix. And then the one I'm currently watching is also Netflix, and that's Kengan Ashura, which is awesome, by the way. If you're into action and you're into shonen type stuff, definitely check out Kengan Ashura. I'm early on in that one, but it is definitely a blast to watch. And now I am definitely going to want to talk about that a little bit. The one thing I don't like where a lot of anime is going, if I'm being honest, and a lot of people are using it now, they're doing a bunch of 3D animation stuff. And it's just not the best look, unless you're going premium all the way. And the only thing that comes to mind when I think of like a premium anime movie, that comes to mind that just, you know, I wouldn't mind watching something like this if it was done like this, is Appleseed. If you guys haven't heard of Appleseed, go watch Appleseed and tell me how you feel after you watch that. Now that is definitely 3D at its finest. If you're going to do something like that, you definitely want to do what Appleseed has done. And that's the closest thing I can remember. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but that one for me is definitely one for the ages. But yeah, a lot of people are doing it now, and it's just, I just miss, you know, that old school animation that we get in a lot of our, and that we got in a lot of our animes. You know, there's still companies still doing it. There's a lot of companies still doing it, but Doing it well though, you're not gonna get as many, and that's what we get with King and Assure. It's easier to do the 3D animation. That's why they do it. I understand all that, but I wish a lot of these they would not do that. But it is what it is. You take what you can. Still a good anime, still a good show. So definitely highly recommend King and Assure on Netflix. Castlevania. I think it's Castlevania Nocturne. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be butchering it. Sorry guys if I am. That was okay. I'm being honest. That was okay. It definitely wasn't like the other Castlevania anime on Netflix. Now, if you go back to the original Castlevania on Netflix, that was classic. That was bona fide classic. Loved it. Highly recommend that one. This one here is still a decent watch. I think it's 8 episodes. 8 episodes. The direction it was going, it was just okay, man, to me, if I'm just being honest with you. It's just okay. I'm not going to spoil it. I just say, hey, just check it out. They definitely left you with the cliffhanger at the end. And I'm not a fan of these 8 episode animes now either, At least give us 10, But the average anime you're going to get for one season is going to be 12 episodes. Sometimes you can get even up to 24. I've seen some as high as 25, 26, depending on what anime it is. But you at least want 12 episodes. All of this, 8 episode shit we're doing now, I'm not digging that. I'm not really digging that at all. They're trying to, they probably could have wrapped all this up in 12 episodes, honestly. This one here with these characters, if I'm being honest. So they're going to make us wait another year to find out how they do what they do on this. So, yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that. And like I said, on 1 to 10 on this one, I have to give this one, I'm being honest, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Wasn't their best effort. And I was a little disappointed. I thought they were going to be coming with some more smoke. And then I will also say that a lot of that, out of that 6 out of 10 comes from the animation. It's a lot of work in there that wasn't, was mediocre at best as far as the studio. I don't know who they had working on it, but at times you could definitely see that. And that has taken, like I said, guys, animation is, it's not an easy thing to do. You got to have a good team. You got to have your shit together if you want to put together a decent anime, especially if you have one with a lot of action and a lot of fight scenes and stuff like that. You got to be on point, man. And every studio is just not capable of doing that. They're just not. So it just depends. And even some of the best studios sometimes outsource to get shit done, and they have multiple projects. They're usually not working on just one said anime. They have a number of different ones under their belt, and they're currently trying to watch. So, some teams are going to be better than others, and that's just what it is. And, I don't know all the schematics behind who was working on this game and who they put on it. I mean, this anime, I'm sorry, but yeah, they didn't put their best foot forward on it. And that's just my opinion. You can be the judge yourself. Check it out. I would love to hear some of your thoughts on it, but that's just me. I'm keeping it real. So I'm moving on to another anime after King and Assure. I don't know what it is. I usually like to kind of juggle a couple if I can. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. Nothing Dragon Ball, man, coming out. Dragon Ball's just dry as a desert pussy if it had one. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't know if they're going to keep giving us movies. I don't know. I'm really anticipating the game. Definitely still hadn't heard anything but whispers, and that's it as far as Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is concerned. So we haven't gotten any new information there. I think this game is a little ways away. I think we shouldn't get our expectations too wet, because we're not going to be seeing this, I don't think, anytime soon. So I'll definitely discuss it when it comes about. I definitely can't wait for it to come out. That's definitely a day one for me as a Dragon Ball fan, as a huge Dragon Ball fan, and that was my favorite Dragon Ball game of all time. So looking forward to that next one is definitely going to be sweet. I wasn't so hyped for a game. I don't think the only other Dragon Ball game I was hyped for was Dragon Ball FighterZ, man. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else comes close. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess, right? I want to talk now about Red Dead Redemption. These guys think they're slick, but hey, at least they did it. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you guys remember not too long ago, they announced that they were coming out with I guess you want to call it a remaster. It's not even considered remastered. They just releases, okay? They literally said, okay, we're going to put out the original Red Dead Redemption, which I adored. We're going to put that out now on PlayStation 4, okay? And the Nintendo Switch. And the physical copies are about to actually drop on the 13th, so they're coming up really soon. If you want physical, I think it's $49.99. In my opinion, not worth it right now because it's basically a direct version of the game. It's not anything more, I don't think, than what you're going to get for the Xbox version, which you can go to the Xbox store now and you can get a 4K version of it. I think it's still 30 frames, but you can still get 4K version for like $30. You can get it digitally right now for $30. So people are like, why would I pay $50 for digital? Okay. And when I can just go to Xbox and buy that. Okay. So the only other reason I see somebody buying this is if you have it for the Switch. And I would definitely like to have this for the Switch, if I'm being honest. Now, they just had an update. It was 1.03. And this update is going to be, when you buy the game, you'll be able to get the game. The digital game is already out now, but the update, it just came out. And if you have it on the PlayStation 5, then you can basically play it at 60 frames. So this update 1.03 adds the 60 frames to that, which is kind of dumbfounding because they could have done this. Maybe they always had this planned, but why not have this planned and bring it and put it out when the game was fucking, announced or whatever? You had plenty of time. I think what happened was they heard all the backlash and they said, yeah, we got to do something about this. Put a team on it. Let's get a team on this and let's get this to 60 frames because it's not very hard to make that possible. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I dropped my fucking keys, guys. Forgive me. But anyway, it's not going to be that fucking hard to do. They fucking do that in their sleep. They could do that in their sleep. And you have gamers or modders who can go in there and do shit like this and who have been doing it. So it doesn't make any sense why these guys can't do this. I just laziness, if you ask me, if I'm being honest with you. They saw an opportunity to cash in and they're trying to cash in on it. They knew that, PlayStation didn't have it. And nobody's going to stream this shit, okay, on the PlayStation platform because they can't get their shit together and figure out the hardware of the PlayStation 3 so that we don't have to stream games. And that's the whole reason why I'm not buying the PlayStation Premium package, because I can't play PlayStation 3 games. I'm not streaming them, okay? There's a lot of games I would like to play from the PlayStation 3, but I'm not streaming it, okay? And that's just what it is. So they had to go in there and fix that and make that at least 60 frames. My thing is, why couldn't they do it for the PS4? They could easily have that running at 60 frames on the PlayStation 4 as well. And it's only on the PlayStation 5. So a lot of you guys out there with no PS5s yet, for whatever reason, you're still waiting. You're not ready to buy one yet. And you get it on the PlayStation 4, you still got to play it at 30 frames, which I think is kind of dumb. I think there's just an incentive for people who have PS5s to just go ahead and get that too. I don't know, guys. I really don't. But that's what they did. They put it out. And I think that, we need to voice our opinions whenever we see something that's happening and it's not cool. We need to voice our opinions because you never know what might happen because of that. You never know the power something may hold. You never know what can catch fire and then have other people decide to make decisions based on the crowd reacting a certain way to something happening, right? That's just what it is. And we need more of that. And sometimes I'm so dumbfounded that some of these companies don't understand this before they put a game out. Like, don't you understand that this could happen and you should be ready for that? And you should be doing this to take precautions so that this doesn't happen. You don't have to even go through this. You can avoid all of this at one point because once it's out there, it's out there. Once you become a meme, you can never take that meme back. People can use that meme forever they want. And I know about you guys, but I don't want to become a meme if I don't necessarily have to. If I can prevent it, if I become one, fuck it, so be it. But look, I'm not out here. I'm trying to prevent this shit, from happening. And it's not like we're asking these companies or these, developers to do anything outlandish. We're just asking for things that are, I think, mostly are pretty fair. for the most part, okay? Just like what they're doing with this Last of Us 2 remake, like remaster. Like, why are you guys doing this? You're cashing in. Of course, you're going to charge $70 for this. I'm quite certain they're going to do that because the Last of Us 1 remake is $70. That's why I haven't bought it, because guess what? There's a better version out there right now, okay? It is. There's a better version, and you get factions on it, okay? You get the whole complete package. So why would you buy the $70 version of that with a couple of upgrades? And they kept the same engine. It's the same fucking game. It's the same game. It's not even the fucking Last of Us 2 engine. I'm like, I at least thought they were doing that. That's laziness to me. And I love Sony, but I'm calling them out on this shit. That's lazy. Like, why would Naughty Dog even allow that shit? And that's why I'm wondering, like, why are they doing a fucking remaster of Last of Us 2? It better be something very, very different and highly, highly upgradable with this version if you plan on anybody buying this shit, especially at $60, $70, whatever you guys are going to be charging. Because I can tell you right now, I could put that PS4 version in my PS5 right now and go work. Okay, it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. So show me something different. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Same thing with the new players. They can look at that and say, oh, that's this, or I can go get the PS4 version and for less than half the price, $20, and be happy, be completely happy. So what is going to be there that is going to really make the consumer pick that version over the version that's already out? And please show me, because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it with Last of Us 1, and I damn sure don't see it right now. You're not giving us any information yet. So I can't wait for that information to come out, because I definitely want to know, besides a few new songs that a guy on a guitar would play for you when you're walking through the city. Like, stop. Okay? Put down the fucking endo. All right, pour out the sake, please. That's that. Okay, for that. Now, last thing I want to talk about is Sony. And they're actually trying to give you a little something for the premium service that they have, okay? They have 3 different tiers. They have I think, Essential. The next one is Extra, and I think then they have Premium, all right? I have Extra, which includes a lot of, you get your free 2 games a month, and you also get access to a big portion of the PlayStation 4 library of games, okay, that you get. So that's what I'm paying for, which is, I think, is around $10, $11 a month, something like that. And I think the premium is shit. I don't know. I think I'm paying like $15, and I think premium is like $17.99 or something like that. And the premium, you get, all the games. You get PlayStation 1, you get, all the legacy games and stuff like that when they want to put them out, because they're kind of slow putting a lot of these out. PlayStation 3 games, guys, if you don't know, you have to stream those games. That sucks. Just letting you know ahead of time. So I don't even consider PlayStation 3, because I'm not streaming any of those games. Now that's what you get with that. And they raised the price a little bit, so a lot of people are a little salty about that. I think they raised it by a couple dollars or something like, I don't know the exact amount, but they did raise it, and a lot of people kind of were salty about that. But what they did add is something that they added: a streaming service, and not a gaming streaming service. It goes by the name of Sony Pictures Core. Okay, so basically what you get with this is, if you buy the premium package, which a lot of people already grandfathered in, already have that, then you can roll this out. You can download this app. It's Sony Pictures Core, and basically you get 100. It's basically like a Netflix or a Hulu or something, but it's for Sony Pictures. Okay, I guess all Sony movies, if I'm not mistaken. It could be something else in there as well, but you get 100 movies, and they're going to cycle them through. They're going to rotate them, kind of like what they do at Netflix or Hulu and any other your favorite streaming services. And you'll always have around 100 movies and have access to those to stream for free if you have that service, if you have the premium service. So you get your games, and then they're throwing in movies too. So not necessarily a bad deal if you're somebody who's just a big Sony fan and you're like, yo, I don't have Game Pass. I don't have, anything else. I'm not a PC player or anything. I don't have Steam. This is all I have. I got my Sony stuff, and, I want to play all Sony shit. I want to go play some Sony old school shit, some PSP games and stuff too, PlayStation 1, whatever. All right. And now I got some movies too. So technically, if you really wanted to, you could just be like, okay, this is my one-stop shop for things. You're going to be kind of limited with just 100 movies, and depending on what your preference is and what you like to watch, but it's something. It's something if you're buying that, it's just, like I said, it's a perk. And I wouldn't put it any higher on the Richter scale than that. It's just something else that's added, and cool if that's what you want to do. But like I said, me personally, I don't play that enough to buy that package. I'll be honest with you, if we're going by games I've been playing, backlog is very, very crispy right now, which means I have lots to do. It's just there right now. Okay, so I don't even really need to be paying the $14.99 that I'm paying, but I am, because there are some games that I still want to go and do and play when I'm ready, and I just don't want to go through the hassle. So that's kind of like what they're hoping on, what they're banking on with a lot of these services. You set it and forget it kind of thing. But as a gamer, hey, for me it's worth it, because I'll eventually put it to use, and put it to use very well. Same thing with the Game Pass and stuff. And when you have kids, it's definitely worth it. So that's all he plays. Like, my son, he's been playing a lot of different shit, man. Gotham Knights is out on Game Pass now. He's been playing a lot of that. And then this new My Hero Academia game, I think it's called fucking My Hero something, but it's an online kind of thing. And I've been seeing videos and stuff on it. It looks pretty fun. I may have to check it out. I'll definitely check it out with him more so, but that's what he's been playing lately. He's off for a couple more days. So, he's been playing that shit so much. That's what I'm saying. He's been staying up real late, getting up early, and crashing out. So, but yeah, there's some things out here, and like I said, he's playing it, he's enjoying it. So somebody's getting some used to it. I'll eventually get back to Starfield. I'll eventually get back to Lies of P and all these other games I've been wanting to play on the fucking Game Pass. And there's a lot of them too. Trust me, there's a lot. So, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for the show. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I want to apologize one last time, guys, for the podcast and, how it may sound, because just, things happen and it is what it is. But I want to thank everybody from downloading, streaming the shows, and just sticking with me, like I said, through all the rough patches, through all the good patches too. This podcast has taken me so many different places. I've been to a lot of different areas, and I've tried this so many different ways, and it's kind of like just what we do, man. Anybody who's done it, as long as I have been doing it, understands exactly what I'm saying here. And like I said, this is part of me now. This show is like a part of my life. I've been doing it now over 7 years and over 330 episodes. It's crazy. So every week I've been giving you guys something, in the realm of gaming. And I just want to thank everybody who's been there from day one. And I also want to thank all the new listeners, man. I hope to see you guys again. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. Check out all of my handles, guys. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, definitely go out to my website, dragonballdrip.com, and purchase something there. Anything, if you buy a hoodie, t-shirt, coffee mug, anything you buy will help help out towards the show. It will definitely help out. And for everybody who's purchased anything there, for the hoodie, just sold a mug and a hoodie last week, whoever that was, hey, thank you. Appreciate that. And we'll be seeing you guys, man. Also, like I said, all my social stuff, man. Definitely check out Random Gameplay I'm getting sleepy. Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube, guys. I got content flowing now. Content's going to be flowing every week. Every week I'm going to have new game trailers. I'm going to be doing discussion videos. I'm going to be doing podcast clips. So a lot of the stuff you guys are listening to now, I'll be chopping up. There'll be clips on, my YouTube shorts and things of that nature. And then I'll also be doing a lot more discussion videos on certain topics, all surrounding gaming. I'm going to be doing that stuff. And the videos are going to be pretty cool, man. Some pretty good edits in there. They're not going to be boring. They're going to have some stuff in there, to kind of keep you on your toes and stuff. A lot of memes throughout the videos and stuff like that. I'll have a lot of butter analogies mixed in a lot of this stuff, man. And just check it out. Like I said, I'm getting really focused on this. I still got another year where I'm at now in this small fucking town that I can't stand, but I'm going to take that time that I have, and I'm going to put all of my energy into this YouTube channel, and we're gonna keep it going. Okay, definitely gonna keep it going. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Show your love. Also, check me out on TikTok at Random Gameplay Pimpin' as well. Yeah, man. At Studio MacGyver, guys, on Twitter. I don't call it X. I call it fucking Twitter. On Instagram. I'm going to start posting more on Instagram. I haven't posted in a while, but yeah, I'm going to at least try to post once a week, post something on my Instagram at Studio MacGyver, guys, like I said. And at Random Gameplay Pimpin' as well. So, yeah, man. See you guys next week. I love you all so much. Thank you all for your support. The podcast is growing. It's growing. I appreciate it, guys. I'm like around 4,000 listeners a week, somewhere around there. So thank you. And this is just, I'm not pushing it. I'm not doing anything. I've never promoted it, but I need to do it. I need to start promoting and stuff. So, hey, this is just on the strength of the love. So thank you, guys. And I'll see you next week. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.